Oh my goodness. I do love my job, and it's moments like this, man, that make it so much greater. God dang it. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all for having us today.
Welcome back to town. Did we ever figure out where it was that you played last December? Did we ever? Was it Dante's?
I think it was Dante's last time we were here.
That's still up in the air.
Played some music and then ate some pizza.
That's good if it's kind of a blur. That means good times were had, though. I think that's okay.
Yeah, they tend to run together sometimes.
That kind of just seems to be life on the road in general. I don't even know where we were 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Rock and roll,
Denver,
I guess. It's
Boise.
a blur.
It's not even rock and roll. It's just pure exhaustion. Yeah, but it's good. It's a good kind of exhaustion. We get to do this kind of stuff a lot, which is pretty amazing.
Thanks for coming into our room, Bing Lounge.
Thank you so very much for having us.
This afternoon at Music Millennium at 4, and then segue over to the Star Theater tonight.
That's right.
And in good company, Saints of Valerie.
Ain't great company. Saints of Valerie and the Wild Feathers.
Wild Feathers.
We've been on the road with those guys for a little over a month now. So
There's an Austin connection there. Do you go back more than just tour?
It goes back, before Jamestown Revival and before the Wild Feathers, actually. We knew Taylor and Preston from the Feathers before either of us were in our respective bands.
yeah, we were all in different bands and all kind of knew each other around town. They went east, we went west, and we met back up 3 years later, so it's been cool.
Yeah, good to come full circle.
Austin, Texas, but before that, it starts in a place called Magnolia.
That's where we were born and raised. Well, born outside of Houston, but raised in Magnolia. Yeah, that's where we met when we were 15 years old.
Yeah.
Were you guys playing music together? Is that what brought you together?
You know, we actually wrote our first song when we first met.
Yeah, I don't know if we were making good music together, but we were making music.
Making music is a very forgiving verb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of sounds
Yeah.
with words.
We figured out we enjoyed playing music and singing and things like that.
Just had a little ways to go.
And then from Magnolia, I understand you go into Austin, Texas. That's a pretty good place to go if you want to segue into music.
Yeah, that's where we went to school for a while. We were roommates. We got into a little mischief.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a story there. There's a nugget
there's
there.
always a story there.
We got a lot of stories.
Austin's a good town to go and realize that you're not a very good musician. It makes you become better.
Yeah, a lot of good players up there. We were fortunate enough to just get to listen in some complete hole in the wall bars to some of the best players I've ever heard. You know, I don't know, guys like Alan Haynes. He's a hero to me, and you know he plays just out in Austin, and hardly anybody knows who he is, and I can't even believe it. He's like he's incredible. There's guys like that all over the place down there though, and it was cool to immerse ourselves in that for a minute.
And then, from what I understand, there was some solo work before you guys got back together, or was it kind of solo work and then getting back together again, or how did that bring you back to where we're at now?
Well, I mean, I think the thing that was consistent was just the fact that we were just buddies throughout everything, and we were each kind of, you know, I pursued music as a solo artist a little bit sooner than Zach had. He finished school, made his parents proud.
Educated man, yeah.
Yeah. I went on the fast track a little bit. I'll still finish maybe one day. But we were concurrently writing songs on each other's records, and we were creating music together. It was just under, you know, solo projects rather than a band moniker, and then we were touring together, and we felt like what really reacted with people was when we would sing on each other's sets and perform together. And so we finally said, let's just do this. Let's just do nothing but perform together, because A, it's a lot more fun, and B, the road is lonely.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, and we have a good time. It feels natural.
Segued out to Los Angeles, and then went to a state called Utah. Yeah. And actually called your record Utah. I think it's really cool how you ventured out there. You rented a cabin. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, we had access to a cabin up in the Wasatch Mountains, just outside of Heber City. It's down the road from Park City, and so we knew we wanted to get in a space like that, and then we had the ability to get in there pretty cheap because we were recording the record out of our own pockets, and so we managed to bribe these two gentlemen, Mr. Ed Benrock and Nick Bearden, to join us up there. We enticed them with the idea of living in a cabin for 2 weeks and free booze.
Yeah.
and lots of pipe smokes.
Yeah.
And some other friends, Daniel Dempsey, who helped engineer the record, and our friend Ryan Lippman, who also helped, and he mixed it. And we holed up in this cabin for about 2 weeks. We recorded in 5 days, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty hellacious, but it was a wonderful time. And the cool thing is this record is the fifth band member is the cabin on it. You can hear it, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. They have a mini documentary on the making of the record.
Yeah.
With some guy who sounds like the voice from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, we tracked him down and we found him. Yeah,
But-
it was pretty cool. We got our friend to come along. We felt like just the way we went about doing it was an important facet of the whole thing altogether. So we wanted to be able to share that. So we brought our other friend. We have a lot of good friends. Yeah. Basically, we learned very early
story
on.
Of Jamestown Revival. We lay heavily on our friends.
Yeah, you just have to surround yourself with people who are better than you, and it will bring. It's the law of averages. It will bring you up. So
it's like keeping a pretty woman on your arm. You just automatically look that much cooler.
Yeah, right.
More handsome. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool though. We woke up one morning and there was a moose outside of the balcony, and she had a calf with her, and that was the kind of stuff we got to surround ourselves with, and just aspen trees, and our buddy runs out there with his camera, and lo and behold, we found out there are actually more people killed by moose than there are by bears. So. He Matt Sanders was his name. He risked life and limb to document the process. So God bless that man.
Yeah.
But, and like one day, we would track till all hours of the morning, and it was about 4:30 or 5 a.m. and the sun was starting to come up.
It
was the last day, and we felt just exhausted, relieved, accomplished, all those things kind of mixed together, and we heard these birds starting to sing, and so Daniel ran up and grabbed a microphone and stuck it out on the balcony, and that sound was what we put as the opening track to Heavy Heart. And so there are real sounds just of the atmosphere just found throughout the whole record, which we thought that was definitely something we wanted to incorporate and use it creatively.
Yeah, all the reverb on the record is we had an echo chamber, and it was this little garage beneath the master bedroom, which we turned into the control room, which was right next to the room where we recorded. So all the reverbs just from this garage, and we cornered these speakers and would play it back, and that's where it came from. So it's all created there. It was cool.
Well, it turned out pretty dang well, don't you think?
It's so hard. After we did it, we all kind of looked at each other and were like, this is good, right? Is this good? It's when you're so involved in something and you're so heavily just engrossed in the whole process.
Sure.
It's hard to even be objective anymore.
Yeah.
And I think after we had the time to step away from it and then come back and just let it just breathe a little bit and come back to it and revisit it, I started to realize that I think it actually was okay. It did turn out all right.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's imperfect, and that's what we wanted. So
yeah,
we definitely bit off more than we could chew, though. We were scrambling. There were some times where we were like, "Oh man, what did we get ourselves into?"
Yeah, I mean the whole goal though was to get as close as possible to just what we sound like playing in a room, because especially like between Zach and I, there's a vocal synergy that happens that gets lost when we're separated, when we're in two separate rooms on microphones that are connected with nothing but electricity. If we can hear each other in the room, there's this thing that happens, and that was our highest priority, was just capturing that thing. So it's we tracked it to tape. There were no vocal overdubs. There was no, there was no studio trickery. It was what it was.
The old school reel to reel.
It was, yeah. And
that's great.
I mean, it was more or less a live album. So, yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys play some more from it, and I'm going to get out of the way. Put your hands together once again for Jamestown Revival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, you guys.